In the frozen silence of the Ural Mountains, where the wind sounds like a whisper through endless snow, there once was a group of young explorers who set out on what was meant to be the adventure of a lifetime. 9 experienced hikers from the Ural Polytechnic Institute, strong, disciplined, and full of youth, set out in February of 1959 on a journey into the wild Siberian north. Their goal was simple: reach the distant Otorten Mountain, a place so remote and untouched that locals called it the Mountain of the Dead. They never made it. When rescuers finally reached their last known campsite, what they found was something so disturbing, so inexplicable, that it has haunted investigators for more than 60 years. It became known as the Dyatlov Pass incident, one of the most chilling unsolved mysteries in modern history. The leader of the expedition was Igor Dyatlov, a 23-year-old engineering student, respected for his discipline and attention to detail. Along with him were 8 friends, young men and women in their 20s, all experienced in winter survival, skiing, and mountaineering. They were no amateurs. Each of them had completed difficult expeditions before. They were calm, strong, and prepared for the extreme Siberian cold. They left from the town of Vizhay, carrying cameras, diaries, skis, tents, food, and everything needed to survive. As they moved north, they wrote cheerful notes and took photographs of themselves smiling in the snow. Their journals show excitement and confidence, not fear. The last entries are dated February 1st, 1959. That night, they set up camp on the eastern slope of a mountain the local Mansi people called Kholat Shakol, the Mountain of Death. When search teams arrived weeks later, they found the hikers' tent still standing against the wind. But it was sliced open from the inside. Their boots, coats, and belongings were still neatly arranged, as if they had left in a hurry. In the snow, barefoot footprints led away from the tent and disappeared into the forest. The first 2 bodies were found near a small cedar tree, barefoot, wearing only their underwear. Their hands were burned as if they had tried to climb the tree or build a fire. 3 more were found scattered between the tent and the forest, their frozen poses showing that they had been trying to crawl back. These 5 had died of hypothermia. But the remaining 4 bodies told a much darker story. They were found 2 months later, buried under several feet of snow, deep inside the woods. Their injuries were severe. One had a fractured skull, another had broken ribs. One woman's tongue and eyes were missing, and yet there were no external wounds on their bodies. It was as if the damage had come from a powerful force, not from weapons or falls. One investigator compared the trauma to what a person might suffer in a car crash. The strangest part came from the radiation tests. Some of their clothing contained high levels of radioactive material. Their skin had turned an odd orange-brown color, and their hair appeared gray, though they were all in their 20s. The official investigation could not explain what happened. The final Soviet report concluded simply, the hikers died due to a compelling natural force. A phrase that offered no answers, only questions. What could make 9 experienced hikers run half-naked into sub-zero temperatures? Why would they cut open their tent from the inside? What force could crush bones without leaving wounds? Over the years, theories multiplied. Some believed an avalanche struck their camp, forcing them to flee in panic. But if that were true, the tent would have been buried, and the slopes around it didn't match avalanche conditions. Others claimed it was a military experiment, that the group stumbled upon a secret test involving parachute mines or radiation weapons, which would explain the strange burns and glowing clothing. Then came the UFO theory. Several hikers in nearby regions that same night reported seeing glowing orange orbs moving across the sky. Some said the group might have witnessed something they shouldn't have and paid the price. Still others point to infrasound, powerful low-frequency sound waves produced by wind moving over the mountains. Scientists say these sounds can trigger panic, hallucinations, and a sense of doom. Perhaps the group fled the tent in terror, only to freeze in the snow. But that doesn't explain the crushed ribs and missing tongue. In 2019, Russian authorities reopened the investigation. Their new conclusion blamed a small avalanche. But even then, experts questioned how such an event could cause those specific injuries, and why the hikers never returned to their tent afterward. Whatever happened that night, it must have been instant, terrifying, and powerful enough to make 9 trained mountaineers abandon their only shelter into minus 30 degrees Celsius temperatures, without shoes, without coats, without reason. The recovered diaries reveal their humanity: jokes, songs, drawings, even playful entries about who cooked dinner. They were ordinary young people caught in something extraordinary. The last photograph taken by their cameras shows blurry lights in the sky and the silhouettes of trees in the dark. After that, nothing. Today, the Dyatlov Pass remains a lonely place, a barren slope where the wind still howls and snow erases every footprint. Hikers who visit speak of a strange energy there, a silence heavier than anywhere else. At night, they say, it feels as if the mountain itself remembers. Maybe it was nature, maybe it was something else. But the truth of what killed those 9 hikers lies buried beneath decades of snow, guarded by the same mountains that claimed them. The world may never know exactly what happened on that frozen night in 1959, but one thing is certain: whatever they saw, whatever they felt, it was enough to make them run into the dark. And as the wind moves over the pass, it still whispers their names: Igor, Zina, Lyuda, Rustam, Thibault, Kolovatov, Slobodin, Krivonishenko, and Doroshenko. 9 souls, frozen in time, still lost in the white silence of Siberia.